Hello, I'm Bishop Wagner, and in this tutorial for the Tennessee Annual Progress Report Instructional Series, we will be discussing the 10-year plan update. We will begin by logging into the connect.re-trac.com/login. Please place your email address that you have in the system as your login. Enter your password and log in. Once you've reached the home screen, navigate to the Programs I've Joined tab and open up the Tennessee Annual Progress Report. Yours may look different than mine, and you may have joined other programs with the ReTrac system. Just make sure that you open up within Programs I've Joined, Tennessee Annual Progress Report, and you'll be in the 2020 Progress Report section. Once you've opened up the Tennessee Annual Progress Report module, you'll navigate to the tab, if yours has multiples like mine does, that says the county name and APR. In this case, we've created a fictitious county for the purposes of the tutorial called Hoth. So we're going to open up Hoth County APR now, and you'll be in the Workspace section. Within the Workspace section, navigate down to the Narrative Surveys, 10-Year Plan Update. Now you'll see mine is orange or reddish orange and in draft. That just means that I've opened up this and saved it midway. If this is the first time you're coming into it this year, this should be yellow or gold and say new. Just click into this box and it will open the 10-year plan update. Within the 10-year plan update, you'll see at the top there'll be a description of the plan update, the Tennessee Code annotated, and the rules that support this in Tennessee state law. And you feel free to look at that and read all of the Tennessee Code annotated or the rules so that you can have the best understanding of what it is you're required to do and what all of this means. You can also review it in the APR workshop presentations, which are also located on our website. They were discussed in there as well. So, if this was done in 2018 or 2019 using the ReTrac system and data was placed in here for your plan, there will be data that's located that has ported over from year to year into the plan. If not, if there hadn't been anything put in on 2018 or afterward, these will be blank and they'll all require to be updated. TDEC and Recovered Materials is requesting that you open up, even if you have completed each of these boxes. Once you click in a box, you can do them one at a time. It probably works best. Scroll down to the bottom. You'll notice here something is opened up for demographics. Once you've clicked in a box, it brings open the fields that must be completed, and as you see they have asterisks, which means that once this field is open, the data is required to be filled in all of these sections. Now this data specifically for demographics is provided within another section of the annual progress report by TDEC staff, so you can navigate over to that section and get this data if you wish to fill it in for your plan, if it isn't already in there. These change year to year, so if it ported over last year, of course, population is going to change, number of households will change, CPI changes. All of these values do change, and they won't automatically port over from the demographic data information that TDEC places in. So we encourage you to get that data and put it in this section, and that will be completed. So we have successfully ported over or, excuse me, placed in the data. I'm just going to make up some things here. And we feel confident that that's in and correct. So we'll uncheck this box for now, and we'll move to current system analysis. Current system analysis is going to discuss waste streams and data concerning types of goods and waste generated. This is expressed as a percentage. Um, so an estimation, but your best estimation of what percent of your waste stream, or a direct calculation, if you have that available, of your waste stream that falls in the residential, commercial, institutional, or industrial categories. So the total should, of course, equal up to 100% at the end. Um, Describe any new or updated steps that the county and municipalities need to take to manage these waste streams effectively in the next 10 years. Please provide, you can do this in a bullet point form. You can do it in any way that details out the steps that the county plans to take. And then there's a box for additional information. You can place as much text in these boxes as you wish. Um, uh, One thing that we find is effective is you can do this in a Word document and then copy and paste it into this. That works really well. Um, that also helps in case there's an issue with the internet where you lose connectivity, and that way you don't lose any data or any of the information that you'd plan to put in there. Another trick is to save as draft. Go to the bottom and save as draft. Frequently as you go through here, it's not gonna lock you out, or you won't have any issues as you go through. It'll just make sure that stuff. You will see these if you don't have fields in there. Once you try the save as draft option, it's going to highlight the required fields in order for you to move forward. But like I said, don't worry about that. It's all about just making sure that you're saving your data. Then there's a section here for your collection capability and the data detailing the different types of collection systems and populations in areas that and uh, receive and don't receive services. Describe the collection systems, the assurance, and the access for the county and each municipality's residents. Identify any needed or unmet needs required to continue the provision of adequate collection services. So, um, the success and concerns of your collection services, please detail that out with as much information as possible here. And then any additional information, perhaps there is something going on in your county or region that's in the works to try to alleviate one of these potential issues. Please detail that here in the additional information. It'll allow us to really see um, and help you plan if need be. The next section is something that we get requests for quite frequently, and it's located right here in the APR, and that is the remaining life surveys for the landfills across the state. Um, so this is asking you, what your disposal capabilities are within the county. And in here, you can click on this. It'll open up a PDF, or a PDF will download, and you can open it. And that PDF will be the 2020 remaining life survey. We try to update this every year with the information from our solid waste permits office. They are really on top of making sure that this is as accurate information as possible for you. And as you can see, it has the estimated remaining life based on the permitted airspace, the facility permit number, um, the acreage, and the airspace that's available in there, and all of the data that's around that. So if you have need, that's where this can be located, and you can find it. If you want to know more about the landfills that you're utilizing, that will also help you. Um, could also help you. So, and then fill in what your uh, expectancy or your capacities or anything that you have in related to the disposal that you're doing in your county here, and also any additional information that you may have. Perhaps you looked at the remaining life survey and your county landfill is listed in there, and you feel that there may be something you want to address one way or another in terms of what the the state is calculated as your landfill expectancy and what you feel is your landfill expectancy. Please add that data here. That information here will make sure that permits gets an opportunity to review it and take a look at it. And the more we know about how you perceive your activities in your county, the better we can provide service for you. The next section is cost using a full cost accounting model developed by our commissioner that includes cost of collection, disposal, maintenance, contracts, and other costs. Please describe any changes that have occurred with program costs that might affect how the county and municipalities manage municipal solid waste and materials. Um, this this could go, be all over the place. It could be from increase in tipping fees at your landfill. It could be um, logistic fees, fuel prices, um, anything, loss of budget funding due to issues such as the COVID-19 pandemic. Those are just some examples of some things we are thinking we will see in this section. Please make sure that you fill that out and update that. And any additional information in these additional information sections for these, we like to see if you're midstream in a solution or if you've tried some avenues to find a solution and the well has gone dry, so to speak. Let us know all of the things that you've done so that we can have the best understanding of how where we can pick up the ball and assist you. The next section is discussing revenues, including cost reimbursement fees, appropriation, and other revenue sources. So any changes that have occurred in the program revenues. Um, Again, budgets, inflow, reduction in the amount of material. Let's say you operate a class 3, 4 landfill and you're not getting the same amount of material that you have in the past, and um, things of that nature, or you're paying more in tipping fees. Anything that can let us know how you're able to manage with things financially, and then any other additional information as well. So you've probably noticed by now that there's this area here that says, by checking this box and entering my name, I certify that all of the plan updates are current and correct. I'm intentionally leaving this blank. It's on each page. It does not need to be signed on each page. It just needs to be signed once for the document, and that is saying that each of these subsections that we will be delving into and we have been delving into so far, that you reviewed all of these and that they are current and correct. The report author will check this out, and then the report author will sign this. It'll be the last action you do to complete the plan update. So we'll scroll back up to the top and we'll uncheck current system analysis. This is just kind of helping us keep track of where we are in this review process. And we're going to click on adoption of the Uniform Financial Accounting Systems required by Tennessee Code Annotated 68-211-874. So how is your program funded? Um, there is a place here for the county and municipality. So for uh, each county municipality, please provide as much information as possible. Um, Typically, we'll have the county first, and then you can add the municipalities in after. If you've clicked this an extra time and you don't have one to add, you can just go over here and remove them. That works fine. And any additional information, um, you know, let's say you click money comes out of the general fund. If this is a percentage of the general fund as per your county law, please place that in there. If it's a special revenue fund, give us some details about that special revenue fund and how it operates. If it's an enterprise fund as well. If you've got a combination of the way that you're funded, detail out the percentages and the breakdown of how that is, so that we can have the most detailed information about the way that your solid waste and sanitation is funded. And then we would save as draft, um, and go on to the next section, which is anticipated growth trends for the next 10-year period. So you can use the demographic information that you've had. You can contact entities such as CTAS to see if they have any growth statistics that can assist you. That's some place that we typically go to rely on information from that of that nature. They're they're great at helping figure things out when it comes in terms to growth. Um, you can once you get that data, usually comes in an Excel spreadsheet or a printout. You can add that data in here for your county or municipality and your current population and the percent change that you've had, and then just a narrative to discuss the growth or the reduction in population. You know, let's say you had a factory closed down that employed a lot of residents and they were forced to move out to find more employment. That would be something that would work really well there. Or perhaps you had a factory or an automobile plant, uh, for example, set up shop in your county, and that's brought a lot of people into your county. Um, or if it may just be your county has remained relatively flat in its growth. So just whatever details you have about the growth in your county, please detail them here. And considering that growth, um, let's discuss the future infrastructure needs of this. Now, these are each specific, so you can have your county listed here, and then in municipalities, you may have different um, you may have a different need in a municipality than you have for the county overall. Please include as much information as possible for all of the entities that are located in your region. And then after all of this, any additional information, as per usual, that will help to enrich our understanding of what's going on in terms of your anticipated growth trends. And you can, as usual, save as draft, and that works real fine. So we're going to click off of this, and then we're going to go to anticipated waste capacity needs. Now, these typically run pretty hand in hand, unless you have some special uh, activity that's happening in your county. For example, your county may be um, undergoing a large scale construction project, um, or there may be something that's changed from years past, from last year to this year. Um, Describe the county and municipality's needs for waste collection capacity. Identify any underserved areas that require additional capacity and collection sites that needed to be upgraded or built. Um, and then they may include curbside municipal solid waste programs as identified needs. So, so any and all information about the county and municipalities and their needs for collection. Perhaps you have an area that's started to develop that doesn't have a convenience center close by that may require a convenience center to be constructed. Um, and then any additional information, as always, to help us understand, um, you know, these are really to take us to that next level of understanding so that we see the data that you have placed in here about what your needs, and then perhaps you can give us some information about what the the thoughts and wills of the citizens are in this area. If we're talking about a convenience center, um, yes, there's a need for a convenience center, for example, but perhaps the citizens don't want it located close to their homes or something of that nature. Um, Anything that's going to help us understand your situation better helps us to help you. So as usual, we save as draft, um, and move on to the next section. Uncheck that and go to planned capacity assurance, including description of planned or needed facilities. So planned capacity assurance. Describe capacity assurance needs for solid waste management facilities, recovered materials processing facilities, composting facilities, and any other facilities needed for the county and municipalities. This includes flow control and permit application review. So please place any information about capacity assurance needs within these areas, and then any additional information um, that can help enrich our understanding in the box below. I'm sure by this time you're getting used to this. Save as draft. Go to the next box, which is a recycling plan, including a description of the current public and private recycling efforts and a plan and planned efforts to enhance recycling within the county or region. So, what specific actions are the county and municipalities making to ensure access to convenient recycling programs is available to your citizens? And then, what private sector post-consumer recycling efforts for the county and municipalities are going on? Please include all of that information as well. And then any additional information. This is a good place to put, and you don't have to get in specific details as to the private sector person you may be using, but this would be a good spot. We are in negotiations with a new private sector vendor to assist in increasing recycling, or this also can be a place to put, if you've had some change in the materials you were collecting, if you've had some some issues with commodities, anything that's going to help us understand how you've been dealing with and planning for your recycling programs. Then back to the save as draft, and as usual, I will cancel. Then there's a plan for the disposal of household hazardous waste. Um, this is where you can place the data from from last year's HHW event in pounds that can be located in the last year's APR information, um, or you can contact recovered materials or materials management staff, um, problem waste staff to help get you that information. Um, and then they'll give you the event in pounds and the previous year's participation if you don't have it. Have you recently had new battery, oil, paint, antifreeze, and electronic sites open up? Um, do you have any new temporary HHW infrastructure, such as the temporary Connex program, the temporary boxes that we've set in some counties already to collect HHW year round? Please place that information there. And then any additional information about your household hazardous waste needs, um, what what's been going on as far as the way the HHW management is received, or anything that you need related to household hazardous waste, appropriate collection and disposal. So then it's save as draft. Now we're going to click into a description of waste reduction and recycling activities designed to gain the goal required by TCA 68 211,861. So that goal is the 25% reduction goal. So describe how each county and its municipalities in the region will contribute to exceed the statewide reduction and diversion goal for that region. So um, the goal is at 25%. Of course, we encourage counties and municipalities and solid waste regions to, you know, don't just do the bare minimum. Let's let's increase that reduction. Let's keep in mind that for every ton of material that's not taken to a landfill, that uh, increases the lifespan of that landfill and it reduces the need for the construction of new landfills. Each landfill is an environmental issue in and of itself, even the best managed landfills. So the real goal here is to reduce the amount of material and to lengthen the lifespan of the existing operating landfills within our state. So so uh, is your county and municipalities in your region uh, willing to contribute to exceed that goal? And then any additional information about potentially obstacles that could be in the way of you meeting or exceeding that statewide reduction goal. Once we have all of that information, please hit save as draft, just as you have. And I'll unclick out of that box, and then we'll go to a description of education initiatives aimed at businesses, industries, schools, citizens, and others, which address recycling, waste reduction, collection, and other goals. So describe specific actions that the county and municipalities will take to promote sustainable materials management to business, industries, schools, citizens, and others. What specifically are you willing to do to increase the education and outreach to let folks know in your region what's available to them and how do you plan on promoting increasing the amount of materials that are diverted from the landfill in one way or another? And then any information that um, will help us understand, possibly what what obstacles you might have, what successes you've had. We like to see that too in these. Then is there a method to receive complaints from the public related to solid waste? You know, how do you get that? You can add that information into. You can just put parentheses complaints and add how you collect it. There may be multiple ways. You might have a hotline number. It might be emails. It might be a survey that you send out. There are all kinds of ways that complaints can be received. Do you keep track of these complaints for data and metrics purposes? Let us know that information as well. Um, so here, if you click yes, how many did you have? Provide the number and then describe the nature of those complaints. If you have no. And then here's a list of roadside dumps. We we would like uh, if it's most times dumps don't have roadside dumps don't have an address associated with them, so GPS coordinates will work really well here. We can identify them on a map then, and so what was the location, what type of materials were found in this dump, and what was the tonnage of the materials that were found there, um, and what education and outreach initiatives is the region taking to reduce the number of roadside dumps. And save as draft, and we'll move on. An evaluation of multi-county solid waste disposal region options with an explanation of the reasons for adapting or failing to adopt a multi-county regional approach. So the preferred organization of the region shall be a multi-county region. Any single county region shall state the reasons for acting alone. Um, so, if you're in a multi-county region, how do you interact with your counties that are connected in your region? What is your specific relationships? In additional information, you can add successes that you've had here in this collaboration with these other counties in your region. And if you're a single county region, um, you know, what benefits do you gain by acting alone? Perhaps you report and are behaving as a single county region, but you still have relationships with your surrounding counties, particularly in disposal. Add that in additional information so we can understand the relationships and how well the counties work well with their neighbors in terms of solid waste management. Then we save as draft, and then we'll go to a timetable for the implementation of the plan. So here's where you place in your 5-year increment milestones. So a plan is really not a plan unless you have goals. And set those goals here. We encourage you to make these goals and adjust these goals. For example, the 2020 goals. Okay, so we just went through 2020. You may have met some, you may have exceeded some of those milestones that you'd set previously, or you may have missed the mark and had to adjust. That's fine. The purpose of a plan really is to to evaluate and adjust accordingly so that you can best provide that service that your citizens require for the management of these materials. And you can use what you learned from the previous milestone to perhaps set other goals. Now, we encourage you to stay within reality, but we really like you to be as ambitious as possible as well. Let's try to set the bar as high as possible to uh, to be successful in this. And us in recovered materials and in materials management programs, all of us, we're happy to help you as you set these plans together. Um, we can we're there and available for you to talk about your milestones and to provide technical assistance as you strive to meet these as the years go by. And then any information that you'd like to add about this, you know, what is the long-term vision, even longer than the 2030 vision for solid waste and management and for recovered materials management in your area. Then save as draft. We're going to go to a description of the responsibilities of the various participating jurisdictions. So county and municipality, the county has the ultimate authority over solid waste within the region. The county executive or mayor is the authority, um, along with the solid waste regional solid waste board. So that we would expect to see first, but then every other municipality in the county that has data to supply concerning solid waste management. And this has a narrative section in here as well. So please put as much data in here as possible so that we can understand the relationships that you have with the counties and municipalities have. Do you have contracts together? Do you uh, use similar third-party collection services? Anything that will help us understand more. And of course, you have the add and remove options for each, like I just showed you. And then any additional information about this is another spot for what is the future of these relationships. What are your goals with perhaps you'd like to work more closely with your municipalities, in a county municipality environment. The municipalities, tend to have the majority of the people, of course. So they would in turn generate the majority of the waste. Um, is there a way that you can enhance your relationship with the municipality, um, so that you can better meet the needs of the county residents. Save, save as draft. And that takes us to the last checkbox here, which is a plan for managing solid waste generated as a result of disasters or emergencies. So your disaster debris management plan. Um, did you previously upload a copy of the region's debris management plan for the 2018 or 2019 reporting period? So did TDEC receive a copy of this? Um, if you click yes, that means we have it. We already have it on file. Um, if you didn't, click no, and then choose the file. So you can go in, click this, and you can go to your file and you can upload it directly into here. And we'll have a copy of your debris management plan right here within the ReTrac system. Um, this will come in extremely handy if we have events such as we had last March with the tornadoes, where you have access to this plan in a real centrally located spot. You can also um, contact your neighboring counties because they will, of course, have a copy of their plan as well. In the case of those tornadoes, the tornado went through and caused major damage to multiple counties in a row, and they were finding themselves working together to overcome some of the needs that they had during that period. And typically with disasters, that's, they don't pay attention to borders, county jurisdictions, or otherwise. Um, they go where they want. So the we we strongly encourage, and in fact, with the asterisks, we require that you give us a copy of this so we can have it on file for you, and then you'll have it here with us. Um, so so if you get to this and it's checked yes like this, just go on and check the no and then add the file. Um, if no file is viewed here, that means we don't have a copy of it in here. It wasn't placed in from 2018, and and we will have it there. And then any additional information that you have about it. So then we get to this save as draft. And so now we've gone to the end of the document. You've gone through all of the boxes. Um, you've updated all of the sections that you wanted to amend. Uh, you've reviewed all of them that have ported over and double checked for accuracy. So once you've done that, just click all of the boxes. Okay, which will open all of the fields. And just scroll down to the bottom. Give it one last look if you wish. Then you will check, and you will sign this. This is certifying that all of the information is up to date, it is correct, and then you hit save. And because I've got errors, it's not going to allow me to complete it, but that's what it would do. Um, I would hit the save, I would confirm the save, and then I would have completed the 10-year plan update. So one last thing before we finish here is, let's say you've completed all of this, you've signed it, you've checked it over, but some more information has come to light, or something has been brought to your attention that was missed in here, um, and it is before the March 31st deadline, uh, and you can't access it. Please just contact us, and we're happy to reopen this for you. If it is after the March 31st deadline, you'll have to submit to us the reason for your request for update, and we'll make a decision whether or not it'll be allowed according to the rules of submission for this plan, and which really is tied to the fact that the plan is accepted by the board prior to the March 31st deadline. So any alterations to the plan. I hope that you found this informative. If you have any further questions, please feel free to contact us at the information on this slide. Thank you and have a good day.